Greetings, fam. Greetings, fam. Shalom Aleichem Mishpachah. Peace be unto you, family. Listen, come on in. You all know this take us just a few minutes to populate. Those of you know when you come in, please let us know where you're hailing from. Also, hit that share button. That little button called the share button. Hit that for us so that we can get this thing rolling. It's yours truly, that's right. The one, the host with the most, sitting in the captains or standing in the place of prominence and willingness to sacrifice one's life, identity for his people. We had an awesome time with the master teacher on last session. He opened up an awesome session for us, and we owe him a black hand. That's right, we're going to give him a black hand for the apostle, the master teacher. And also, please be aware and be advised that he also has a tutoring program. Listen here, that is off the Richter, off the chain, out the yard, down the street, over across on the other block, and still running. That's right, the master teacher. Hey, June. Hey, Rhonda. I see you, Doc. We're going to be dealing once again with what? Realignment, transformation, and balance. This is going to be part 6. We're going to get into some awesome things today, as always. We're going to put it in your lap. We're not going to make it complicated. But we're going to oversimplify it so that you can get what you need out of it and cause it to be applicable to you and for you. All right? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit this share button one more time. And then we'll give out our greetings here in just a second. But while we're populating, let me give y'all these sounds on sounds by none other than the one, J.P. Hall, and the master teacher. On the congos and bongos, on the keys, J.P. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, Brother Love, what's going on? All the way from Fayetteville, North Carolina in the house. We got South Kakalaki in the house. Oh, yeah, we got Maryland in the house. We've been talking about, again, some very powerful things, and with that, we're going to get into our greetings. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Abaragani. Amani kaka. Amani dada. Hola. Bonjour. Konnichiwa. Ni hao ma. Hello. Greetings, fam. We're entering into another session, into another truth session again. And we're going to be dealing again with realignment. Of course, we're going to realign some things. Hey, Brother Jason. We're going to realign some things. We're going to transform some things, and we're going to balance some things, okay? Yes, greetings, greetings. Greetings, everyone. Okay, now, Let's take a look at something. There are some very powerful transformations that are taking place. And if you look out, if you look out in what's happening in the theater of thought and behavior in society right now, you see things are being transformed, things are being moved, people are being transformed and moved, and certain things are happening. And it's very important for us to realize this and see this in real time, that in real time these things are happening. So it's incumbent upon us, those of us that have the level of intellect, to be able to discern, to pick up on these things and move them into a place that motivates, encourages, and perpetuate our purpose. Okay? Now, let's get into something here. I want to go ahead and get us started, and those that will be coming in, they'll be able to catch up with us. I want to talk about the number one. And you all always hear me refer to myself as the one. But my website, it's www.theoneatal.com. ETAL. I'm pretty sure you all have seen these acronyms here. ETAL. That means all others elsewhere, right? So when you hear me say, I am the one, ETAL, I'm actually telling you I'm one of the ones of all other ones elsewhere. And it's very important for us to understand the number one, okay? Because when you get into the real-time activity, and you get into the number one actually is going to become the number 11. Number one is actually going to become the number 11. And we're going to talk about this because it's going to deal with transformation and balance, okay? We're going to get into this, but here's what I want to say to you all. You're seeing a different backdrop. Those of you that are, of course, always in the truth session, there's a different backdrop. The reason that there is a different backdrop is that because I've went through a transformation. I've moved from one locality to another locality. And this is the time and season for it, for transformation. And here's what I really want to say, and it's very important for you to catch what I'm getting ready to say to you. Whenever there is a major transformation getting ready to go forth in your life, there is always going to be opposition. I'm a little emotional right now, but you have to understand that there is always going to be opposition, and nothing is going to run smoothly. There is always going to be something that tries to insert itself in the process of your transformation, because transformation is always going to deal with information. Deals with how well you're being informed, and what is informing you, and what is shaping you and framing you and molding you. And if you haven't realigned, then whatever touches you, you'll become what it is. We talk about this all the time, right? Hurting people do what? Hurt other people, right? But at the same time, healing people do what? Heal other people. So if there is hurting you and someone comes along and touch that hurt, then you transform into what they are, hurt. Based upon where you at. This is very important because we've been so traumatized. There are things that have happened to us. And let me say this to you all, family. The most important thing to develop is a relationship. You hear me, and you hear me well. The most important thing to develop is a relationship. Never let anyone define who you are and who you are engaging. When you're realigning and you're recalibrating, you're going through your transformation, you need to understand that people come into your life for a reason. I think I'm talking to somebody today. It's so much energy and emotion that's swirling right now. Do not let anyone stop your transformation. Okay, good. It's still there. I was wondering if it was still there. Do not let anyone stop your transformation. So now, let us look at this. This is very important because according to mathematics, now that's not my skill level, but that's the master teacher skill level. But when we use mathematics, what do we count from what? From 1 to 9, right? But we're going to get to 10 because you're absolutely correct, master teacher. But what we do is we count up to the number 9, right? And once we count up to the number 9, what happens to the 1? It carries over and creates what? The number? Oh, there we go. I knew we was going to get to it. It creates the number what? 10, because the 1 begins to do what? Repeat itself. So the 1 is going to add itself to every other number. So the number 1 is very powerful because within the 1 is all other numbers, because it is the whole number. Now the reason why I'm telling you this is because you have to understand something. Now, when we get to the number 10, right? When we get to the number 10 is considered the what? The base. Yes. Right? Base 10, yes, sir. Base 10, right? Yes, sir. So now, we're on a base 10, and when you look at that 10, right? That 10 allows us to do something. Right? That's right. That 10 allowed us to do what? To borrow, doesn't it? Yes. It'll cancel itself out and we can get 9, can't we? That's right. Yes, that's right. Right? Yes. It'll cancel itself out. So the reason why I'm getting that to you is that this is a base number. The 1 is adding to everything because it is the foundation of all things, the oneness. Yes. The 1. Come on. So when I'm saying I'm the 1, I'm not saying that to be narcissistic. I'm saying that because it is creating a vibration. It is creating a realm that is conducive for wholeness and health and healing. Yes. Okay. Okay, so let's talk a little bit, right? Let's talk a little bit. Y'all all right? Everybody okay? Yes, sir. Yes. All right. Let's talk a little bit. Let's look at the number 1. Because the reason why we want to take a look at it, family, is because numbers are actually systems of information, right?
Yes, sir.
When we start dealing with certain numbers, they lend to us information. And let's look at this. Let's look at, if you look at the number one in the Hebrew, and I'm going to put this out here for you. If you look at the number one in the Hebrew, it is the word echad. Okay? It's going to be E-C-H-A-D. Echad. Now, put this out here so you can see what this means. And watch how loaded the number one is. Watch this. Just bear with me. There's so much energy, you all up in here. Okay, can you all see that? Okay. Okay, there it is. Okay, now, so when you look at the word echad, look at it. It is a loaded term. You got to see it. Look at what it means. It means properly united, to bring together. And this is why I'm saying it is so important when you get ready to realign, go through your transformation, and to balance yourself. You have to note what you're touching and what you're allowing to touch you. Right?
That's right.
Now, when you understand who you are and where you're at, then you can better realign yourself properly, right? Because this is what we're after. We're after proper alignment because there are some things that undoubtedly happen to us, come up here, that has caused us to misalign, right?
Yes.
So that we can't make the proper transformation to get to balance. Because we want to get to balance because why? Balance is where we find our equilibrium.
Yes, sir.
Right? Now, once we find that equilibrium, come on here, we're able to cause our hemispheres to operate correctly. Right? And we get right information. And we get proper behavior. Okay? So, look at this. So it means to unite. That is to be one as an ordinal number. This is an ordinal number. Now watch this. Watch what ordinal means. This is very important. This is why we do etymology. This is why we trace words down. This is why we look at words. This is why we bring words forward, right? So that they explain something to you. They show something to you. They reveal something to you. They open up something to you. They present something to you and work something for you. Okay? Right. Now, so look at what it means. Ordinal. It means ordination. Here's master teacher. Mathematics.
Yes, sir.
It means instructions. It means what? Ranking. Positioning. Look at this. The number one is going to give forth instructions. It's going to give ranking. In other words, it's going to put you in your rightful position in place so that you won't be out of order.
Yes.
Ordinal or order. These things are orderly, right? So again, so it means ordination. What does ordination mean? We said that. What does it mean? When we go through an ordination, one is that there's something that's being conferred upon you. Yes, it's being conferred upon you. And then of course mathematics. Mathematics, what is how we describe the universe, correct? Instructions, it gives instructions, it gives ranking, it positions you. And look at what else it goes into. It goes into your biology. It goes into your ecology, your anthropology, your psychology, your physiology, your humanity. So the one gets to the very elements that cause us to be God. When you get to humanity, you all know that we've talked about humanity, right? We know what that means, human. Hue means what? Colored man. Hue, H-U-E, meaning color, and then man, black and brown, man and woman, right? So humanity is only one ethnicity, not all ethnicities. There are other kinds of men. We use the term what? Mankind. kind, because there are other kinds of men, but they're not human. Okay, so let's make that separation. It's very important to do so. Now, also the number one in the Hebrew phrase or term or word, echad, means first. It means to be alike. Now, here's what I like. It means to be alike. That means whatever you touch, you're going to begin to look like it, act like it, feel like it. See, and this is why it's very important to understand what you're touching, who you're touching, and why you're allowing them to touch you. Okay? If you're going to get to true alignment, realignment, to transformation, and to balance, you're going to have to note who you are involving yourself with, who you're engaging. Okay? You want to make sure you engage the right persons or people. All right? Preferably the one. It means all together. All together means all, A-L-L, and then together. So all things come together. So hence we say what? Everything is everything. Everything is everything. And if we understand that everything is everything and we're all coming back together, then we must be mindful of how we're coming together and what we're coming together with. Okay? So that's why we want to research. We want to know. I want that information that is going to bring about the transformation. Okay? Okay. Now, also, it means a piece. It means each one, meaning that there are other ones, each one. One means other ones, okay? And it also means highway. Well, what are you saying when you get to highway, right? Highway is superhighway. It is a broadband. It is the highway by which information travels. One gives you the ability to have an avenue in which you can transfer information and receive information. It's a highway, okay? Means that you can travel in your mind. You can travel in your spirit. For what? For realignment. To touch those things that bring you back in tune with you. Okay? So if we're touching something that's not bringing us back in tune with us, then we need to cut that off, right? If we're touching something that's bringing up hurt, that isn't bringing about transformation, then we need to cut that off, right? And then realign ourselves with that which does give us the right information, come on here, to gain control over any trauma that has happened in our lives. So it's very important to understand that, okay? All right. So let's move on. Now, this next information is going to be coming from www.whatsyoursign.com. And here's some of what it stated about the number 11 and the number 1. Now, note that while I'm talking to you, I'm creating an atmosphere conducive for you to grab your information, for you to realign. I'm dropping this information for you, okay? Okay, now. Hi, Chelsea. Hey, Lavelle. Okay. I need you to see that. Look at that. Okay. I'm looking at the number 11 right now. Y'all see that? Okay, now the number 11, listen to this, watch this. And I'm getting ready to reveal some things to you. It's very important for us to understand this, okay? Okay. The number 11 is thought of as a master number because it is a double digit of the same number. So it's considered a master number because it's a double digit, right? Okay, so when this occurs, the vibrational frequency of the prime number doubles in power. So the prime number is going to double in power. So watch this. The attributes of the number 1 are doubled. The very basic and primary understanding of the number 1 is new beginning in purity. So when you get to the number 1, your number 1 brings you back to the beginning of all things because it is the base from which we draw from, we launch from. Okay? From which we launch from. Now, it is the very basic element of it, okay? Now, when we see the attributes double in strength. Now, watch this. So when you get to this, when you're watching this double in strength, what it's going to do is it's going to start bringing you to different levels of movement. Okay? One of the things that when you get to the number 11, what's going to happen is it's going to start dealing with your vision. Let me put this out here. One of the number 1 things it's going to start dealing with is your vision. How many of us can really see how things really appear? The number 11, again, is going to bring you to vision. We have two what? Yeah. I know these are just our duality, which is connected to the single eye that gives us the true vision, right? So what we want is the vision of how things really appear. And if we understand how things really appear, then we understand truth, because truth is how things really appear. So when you are realigning and balancing yourself and coming back into balance, your vision must come back online. Okay? Your vision is going to come back online so that you can see how things really appear. And I'm telling you, once you see how things really appear, there is nothing in this cosmos, in this universe, that can derail you from your transformation, because you see how it really appears. See, and not only will you see how it really appear, there won't be anyone framing it for you. You're going to have to see it for yourself. You're going to have to experience it for yourself. This is what the one is going to bring into existence: self-experience, self-actualization, how to actualize and come into being, come into existence of yourself. See, and it doesn't matter what anyone else have done. That will not have an effect upon you, because why? You will see how things really appear. And then you'll be able to see someone for who they are and why they do what they do. You'll understand what framed them, who touched them, why are they all out of sorts. And you move right on through that, right? Okay. Give me just a second. That's my baby out there. She said, "Hey, Dad, it's me, Rah-Rah." The energy is high in here. Y'all, just give me a second. My computer is doing what it wants to do. Okay, I see you, Pastor Brown. Watch this. The second thing it's going to get to is balance. The number one, it's going to double itself and it's going to bring you to balance. When the number 11 is prevalent, it's representing balance. It represents the fact that, okay, you're getting ready to come to balance. And once you realize that that's what's getting ready to happen, then you can remove all other thoughts from out of the framework of what needs to take place so that it doesn't enter into your transformation as you're balancing. Okay? So we're going to learn how to compartmentalize and move information that doesn't have anything to do with our transformation. We're going to compartmentalize it. We're going to move it out of the way so that we see with great clarity what it is that we need to use to frame ourselves, to shape ourselves, to balance ourselves, and bring ourselves to that place, come on here, where we're foundationalized, or we meet the base of who we are, and we're firmly foundationalized, right? So we're stable. We become stable in our thoughts. Most of our problems is that we lack stability in our emotions, in our thought processes. So once we find that base, right? We find that 10 base, we can find that oneness. We can find that unity. We can find that togetherness. Because when you look at the number 10, it represents unity. Well, what do you mean? Unity, it means four fingers, if you take 4 fingers and a thumb and join it with another 4 fingers and a thumb, and you shake hands, you've come together in unity. You're establishing a covenant, right? So 10, then at the base of everything, we're going to establish relationships that will cause us to be able to do what's necessary for survivability, for us to survive, okay? Because this is where we're at. We're in survival mode. We're at war. We're at war with every ethnicity. We're at war with the monetary system. We're at war with the ecological system. We're at war with everything. You just take a minute and think about it, that everything and everybody is warring against us. Okay? So it's important for us to get this information and unify, establish a bond. Right? Okay. All right. From me, fam, just take a second. Will y'all do something for you, for me, and for us? Will y'all just hit that share button and let's share? Can y'all just give me 1 second here? I need to wet my whistle. The energy is high. Whew. Okay. Once again to KD Hall. Yes, that's right, Lavelle Agreement. That's right. Master Teacher put it out there for you all. If you'd like to call in numbers out there for you, and the teacher will appear. That would be area code 217-697-4531. Am I the only one freezing up?
No, mine was freezing up first too.
Okay.
It's back.
Okay, it's back. Okay, fam, if you all would for me, refresh your browser. Okay. I see you, Winston Brown. I see you all in the house. Okay. Now, here's the third thing. Look at this. Invention. See, what happens is when we start realigning and balance and come back to balance and go through our transformation, what it's going to bring us, to our level of ingenuity. It's going to bring us back to a place where we're comfortable enough in our minds to now dream again. And when I say dream, I'm not talking about dreaming and wishing upon a star. But it allows us to enter back into a space in our minds where we're able to cogitate at such a high level, we can create inventions again. Okay? So it's very important for us to understand when the number 11 is prevalent, when that 1 is prevalent, it also means the number 11, you can make it double in its power, in its strength. Okay? And you can get some other things out of it. And this is what we're doing. We're getting these things. We're causing realignment to happen. We're causing transformation to take place. And we're causing balance to come, to be balanced. Okay? It's very important. And as we move through these, I'll give you another one. Okay? I like this one right here. Check this out. This will be number 4. Yes, that's right. Realignment, balance, invention, Sister Rhonda. Thank you. Now, we get to now refinement. Refinement now, you got to understand, to be refined, you have to go through the fire. See, to get the balance, you got to go through the fire. And everything that you're going to experience isn't always going to feel good. See, most of the time, things that don't feel good to us are the things that are good for us. See, most of the time, if it feels good to you, it's not for you, man. You need to probably leave that alone. So why am I saying that? Because it's very true. For refinement, to get to the next level of yourself, to sharpen your being, to sharpen your level of intellect. Come on here. You have to go through some circumstances and situations. You have to be refined. And I think oftentimes we forget that. We forget that going through the process. When we're going through trauma, trauma is a level of refinement. No, we don't want trauma. No, we don't need trauma. But trauma has an ability or the capacity to bring about some form of refinement. If we know how to move it into a place where it becomes profitable. Okay? Now, I'm not saying we want trauma, but what I'm saying is when you being refined, there are some things that you may see, some things you may experience or whatever, but it's not to keep you in that space in your mind that you keep reliving it over and over and over and over again. And see, here's what has happened to us. Some of us have been so traumatized that the trauma, when we were traumatized and at the age it was, is where we still dwell in our thought processes. For example, if there was something that happened when you were 8 years old, or when you was 8 years old, then your mind takes you back to that space and time. And it becomes a nested loop. You keep going back there. And whenever a situation happens that may remind you of that, then you act out that 8-year-old behavior. So this is what happens when we get traumatized in some instances and cases, right? So then what does it take? It takes refinement. It takes someone to come along and tap on it. It takes someone to come along with information that's healing it, not stressing it out. See, you can come into some of these people out here online talking about they're healing you, and they are the most messed up people in the world.
That's right.
True healing. When you encounter true healers, there is nothing like it, because you know what? They touch your world in such a way, it causes you to become so comfortable that you open up and start divulging information and things that you've never had in your life before. And when you do it, it's an immediate release. It is an immediate transformation from that particular place where the trauma took place to a place where you can look at it and say, now I'm in authority, I'm in charge, I rule over it, and it doesn't rule over me. It will not bring about stress and depression. It will not bring about hurt. Come on here. I will not allow this to again do this to me. Okay? So it's very important for us to understand that. Okay. Now that's refinement. Okay. Yes. That's right. New cycles, new fire. That's correct. That's correct, Lavelle. Yeah. Yes. Okay, Rhonda, you're absolutely correct. I won't disagree with you. Peace, peace, peace. I'm just looking down the timeline, make sure I'm not looking over anyone. Okay. Yes, ancestral. Yes. Yes. Dilemma. DNA. Yes. Okay, let's move through another one of these. I'm not going to keep you long today. I just want to realign some things, transform some things, and bring some things to balance. How about that? You all see that one? Let me put it back out there. Yeah, I moved it. Okay, now number 5. It's going to be congruency. Let me get to teacher will appear first. The process of relieving the childhood trauma over and over is called neurosis, correct? It is neurosis. That neurosis is that thing that continues to take us back to a place where things happened in our lives and we revisit them over and over and over again. That is correct. Now, congruency. Now, congruency, we know that means to be able to flow together. When things become congruent, that means that they have the ability to flow together. So when you come back to balance, when 11 comes into play, that means that it's bringing about a level of congruency, and you learn how to flow with others, work well together with others. And there won't be always this negative energy that is being projected.
That's right.
So when you're balanced, you won't project negative energy. You understand how to flow congruently. So when someone is negative, you don't step up and give them negative energy back. You sidestep them.
Yes.
You move out of the way. You don't step in the way and then start sharing that information. You deflect. You sidestep. You move out of the way. So what we have a tendency to do, and I'm telling you, what happens to us is that people come into our space carrying wrong energy, releasing wrong stuff. And because perhaps we may have not properly developed yet in our next level of transformation, it has a tendency to kind of rock us a little bit, move us into a place where we unresponsive.
That's right.
Right? So it's very important to note that and recognize that when that person comes into your environment with that, man, dispel them. Put them out. You don't want that. You don't need that. Okay? All right? So put that away from you because you're trying to reach the ultimate level of yourself. And you don't want to take anyone else in there with you. You don't want to take anyone else's thoughts in there with you, and you're reacting to what they said to you. What they did to you, you're reacting to that when you should be refining yourself, turning the light on so that the fire can burn away all of the dross, burn away all of the impurity, and then release the higher level of yourself. Okay? Okay. Pastor Brown says, I totally agree, cause for true healing to happen, there must be escape. Yes. Yes, this is true. Okay. Okay. Anyone else freezing up? Okay. Yeah. If you all can still hear me, just refreshing your browser, family. I think it's that router that we have.
My tablet, my phone is fine, but the laptop is freezing.
Yeah, my laptop keeps freezing. Excuse me for a second here, fam. So you guys can still see me, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, here we go. I see you, Brother Billy Harris. I'm almost just about finished here. I just want to finish up on these. We got one more after this one. Now this one, yes, greetings, elder. Now this one brings about fulfillment. The number 11 is also going to bring about the ram and level of fulfillment. It's how we. So if you look at the word fulfill, it's a compound word. Full, F-U-L-L, and then fill, F-I-L-L. It means to be fully filled, right? So in other words, when 11 comes into play, what it's bringing about for you is a level of fulfillment. It's trying to bring you to that place where you're absolutely filled up so that nothing else can enter in, so that nothing else could shape you, mold you, frame you, or position you out of position, okay? So that's what it's going to do. Am I still coming through?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, let me see if this last one will come through. All right. Can you all see that one? Did it come through? No. Put it out there, Apostles. Higher ideals. Now, the final thing that I cited from this is that it's going to bring forth your higher ideas. It's going to take you to your higher self. See, and this is when you really begin to understand when people are balanced. When people are balanced, they dwell in higher ideals. They don't dwell in bottom thought. Because bottom thought carries negative, radical behavior. It carries the radical element of hurt, to revile, to dehumanize, to demonize, to disenfranchise. That's that lower element of self. And if people come into your environment with that, you need to dispel them. Right? Because what they're trying to do is cast a spell on you to steal your thoughts, to steal your transformation, to steal your realignment, to steal your balance, and then insert theirs in there so that you begin to act like them.
Yes. That's right.
And you join ranks with them and then don't even realize that you're doing that. You don't even realize that someone has superimposed their will and their thoughts over you when you were realigning, when you were going through transformation, when you was getting to balance. Then here comes the opposition. See, you have to have the right kind of refinement. You don't want the wrong refinement. You want the right kind. Real true healers. Family, listen to this. If we're going to where we're going, real true healers must have the ability to look beyond someone's not so good and still heal them. Still speak the language of love to them. Still have an embrace for them. That's what true healers, that's what they do. They don't involve themselves with ideals and things that takes away their transformation. True healers continue to transform and move into the next level, the next realm of what's happening, which is wholeness, fullness. Get your vision back. Get your will to be inventive. Get your back, your gumption. Move into your higher ideas. Remember, family, treat someone the way you would want to be treated. When you establish relationship, establish them for the right reasons. Establish them because it's right for them to be established. Never let anyone shape, mold, frame you to you, to destroy you. Always take the higher ideas of who you are, because they'll bring forth transformation. It'll bring forth healing. It'll bring forth a willingness to project those things that are fair, that are good, that are upright, that are balanced. So that when someone touches it, it will cause them to become the next one of themselves, the better ones of themselves, and it would absolutely take them to a safe place within their mind. There's nothing like being in a safe place in your mind where you can garner your strength and you can garner your peace. And in the times of adversity, you will not faint. In the time of refinement, you will not crumble and melt away, but you will make a stand. The future is yours to see. Hey, Sarah. It's yours to see, Sarah. Sarah, Sarah. The future is ours to see. Reclaim your vision. Reclaim your love for humanity. Realign your thoughts. Realign your spirit. It's all right to talk to self. Self, we're going to realign ourselves. Self, we're going to envision. We're going to see those things that we can bring to fruition. And we're going to get at it. We're going to get our congruency going. We're going to get our refinement going. We're going to get back to those higher ideas. We're going to get back to our fulfillment. There's nothing like being fully filled. You all know as well as I do that people that carry good energy, good vibrations, when they come into your presence, you can fully feel them. There is a feeling of fulfillment that happens. They're able to touch a space in you that you can all come together and be like-minded. That's one, to be alike, to be ecod. For us all to come together in congruency and be circumspect. I love you, family. And I love you with a love that's beyond love. That's how I love you. That's how I love you. I see clearly. None of us are without idiosyncrasies. None of us are without indifferences. I see that, but it doesn't stop me from loving you and looking beyond that and seeing who you are. It's time for us to see who each other is and who we are becoming. The past is a thing of the past, but today is the present and tomorrow is the future. Where are you now? Where are you now in your thoughts? How are you refining them? Are you touching your thoughts? Are you creating within there? It's time to recreate. It's time to realign those things and put them where they are designed to be placed so that we won't be a misfit. I love you, family. Yeah, with that kind of love that's immeasurable, that's that kind of love. So what I do out of love. So let's line them things up. Let's line that one up. That's right. You hanging out with the one. I am the one, the host with the most. And you are the one. And we're all together alike. And we're building, family. We're building one love. One love, fam. One love. As always, hold what you got. Cogitate upon it, muse over it, ponder on it. But by all means, govern yourselves accordingly. One love, eternal light, peace, power, in good health. Shalom Aleichem, Mishpikah. Peace be unto you, family.